After an analysis of the proposed 2015 budget, the organized private sector points out that the resultant negative effect of the revenue slump being experienced can be mitigated if the tax administration system is improved. However, the growing budgetary appropriation for debt service, which shot up to 943 billion naira, as against 712 billion naira in the previous year, posed great concern for the group.
So, when you look at the amount her mark for debt servicing, when you relate it to various costed or expenditure in the budget, you will see it as so much. It's 971 billion naira, if I'm right. That's about 25% of the total budget. That is huge. Let's tell ourselves the truth. The issue is this. This is an expenditure that is already committed. It's not an expenditure that is futuristic. It's crystallized. And what was it used for? For recurrent. If you see the proportion of the current in the total budget, you will see that it's being used for what I can call routine expenditure. They are not for developmental purposes. They are not for human capital development. That is, they are not an investment in the future. The capital expenditure itself has come down by about 59%. That's not good enough. Definitely something has to happen in the area of our expenditure.
So we need to look at the whole idea of debt management, the way we incur debt, the basis for incurring debt, and what we incur the debt for. I mean, why should government be borrowing at 15%? You take the papers now, this week, there's already an advertisement for federal government bonds at 15%. Why? At the end, these are the things that accumulate together to put us almost in a debt trap. Because we're almost in a trap. Government debt is the least risky of all debts. Therefore, the cost should be lower.
The organized private sector commended government for the huge reduction in the appropriation for fuel subsidy, which is down by 80% in the proposed budget.
We welcome these developments. However, we note the provision of $91 billion for kerosene subsidy in 2015. We submit that provision of this sum is difficult to justify.
The group, however, frowned at the structure of the proposed budget, which they say does not reflect the urgent imperatives of economic diversification.
The budget itself does not show austerity. That is the issue. If you have a budget, you are talking of austerity, and you are earmarking 91 billion for kerosene subsidy in that same budget, who are you giving the subsidy to? The totality of the sums that the government says it wants to get from all this luxury tax, the entire thing I think was estimated at just about 90 billion. And you are putting 91 billion as kerosene subsidy. That does not show that you are talking about austerity. Service-wide vote, which is very controversial, that is also increasing by about 10 or 15%. It's one of the most controversial components of the budget. Because it's so opaque, there are no details, you don't know who is spending it. Those components are increasing. The current budget is increasing.
For a total austerity budget to take its course, the group says government must ensure that it eradicates all forms of subsidy and review downwards all honorarium and overhead expenses